Hey. Oh. There she is. Hey, welcome everybody into the Welcome everyone. What's the name of the show? Welcome everybody. This is the show, Chet Show. I'm your host. My name's Chet. So this is our new format. We had some creative differences at the studio, so I decided to quit and make my own show. There are also some allegations, big A word, allegations, not proven true, that I was, they said I was lying about the news, I was lying to my bosses, I was lying on my secretary, and none of that is true. So I said, I don't need you. I can do this myself. So here we are. Let's throw it to our first clip. Oh, I have to do that now. Alright, hold on. How do I make a clip?
Hey guys, this is Greg. I'm the intern here with Chet at home for this off season, and so when Chet asked me to do a segment, I was pretty excited. So I thought we could look at the keeper list for this year and just see if maybe there was a player that we could look at that was a possible keeper and do a little bit of a deep dive on him and just see if it was someone that had an interesting stat line difference from year to year, or maybe someone that took a huge step forward or step back. So that's what I thought we'd look. And when I was going through the teams list here, I thought we would start and look at Kevin's team. So Kevin obviously had a great year. And when I bring up great year, that brings me to talking about my podcast that I've started this year. So I've actually started a podcast with a couple of my friends from college, and it's Greg's Football Podcast. We talk about fantasy, but not just fantasy. We also talk about just real NFL and steps that we can take here and there to try and find girlfriends. So if you want to listen to that podcast, you can find it anywhere that podcasts are, Spotify or Apple Podcasts. But anyway, I just had to plug that. I hope Chet doesn't mind, But so when we're looking at Kevin's team, I thought we would look at, he had some big breakout players this year. He had big performances from Aaron Jones and Christian McCaffrey, all the way down to Julio and DJ Chark, who took a big step forward. And, Greg Kittle's on the bench too. So when I was trying to pick a player, I was like, well, he has a lot of good guys, but let's take a look at someone that was very volatile last year, and that was Andrew Luck. So I did a little bit of a deep dive on Andrew, and thought I would just share it with you guys for this week's segment. And so speaking of share, I also need to share with you our sponsor. So this segment is sponsored by Manscaped. Whenever the pubes are waving, get to shave it. Manscaped. Big thanks to the guys at Manscaped for sponsoring this week. So Andrew Luck is a 234-pound quarterback from Stanford, hand size of 79th percentile. So when we're looking at him, we do have his burst and his Wonderlic, which were very high. Good percentages there. An 84th percentile Wonderlic and a 94th percentile burst score. So we didn't get a throw velocity. That was before that stat was really measurable, was when he went through the combine. So that was not one that we got. So we kind of just had to watch it on the field, but obviously doesn't have any problems with the throw velocity there. So when we look, fun fact, best comparable is Cam Newton. Obviously Cam Newton, someone that's big. A lot of people are talking about this year with his new role on the Broncos. On the Chiefs. So whenever we look at Andrew Luck. So I thought I would look at his 2018 stats versus his 2019 stats. So for 2018, obviously he had a 100% snap share. He was always in there. But what was weird about 2019 was his snap share actually fell from 100% to 0%. So that was something that maybe we'd have to look, and Frank Reich didn't see something he liked, or maybe they were just trying to switch up the play calling, or I don't know what happened. But that was something that was weird that we saw from him. And sorry, I have my notifications turned on. Don't worry. Shoot, Chet's gonna kill me. Anyway, so that's just a weird thing. We're gonna have to watch training camp to see if we can see if he's running with the first team offense. Maybe see if that snap share comes up a little bit. When I was also looking, I thought his red zone attempts were very interesting. So our red zone attempts are right here. So he ranked third in the NFL in red zone attempts with 100 in 2018. That number actually fell down to 0. So no red zone attempts for 2019. So when we're looking at that, that's something to think about whenever, touchdowns are king in fantasy football. So we want those touchdowns to be high. So whenever you have no red zone attempts, that means that you're not going to have as many touchdowns, possibly. Or you could be throwing them from farther away. I don't know. But you get it. But that number came down. So they did run the ball a lot last year, so maybe that was maybe why, their offensive linemen, they had those hats that said run the damn ball, and that was cool. But that's just another thing to look at, and maybe why he's a little bit of a riskier keeper for Kevin this year. Another thing I thought was weird was when I came down his true completion percentage. So for those of you that don't know, a true completion percentage is whenever you take their normal completion percentage and you take out all of their throws that were throws away, like out of bounds, or just throws that were batted at the line of scrimmage. So these are only their actual targets that got to their target. So on those, he had a 11th ranked 72% completion, true completion percentage, but compared to 2019, that number fell to 0 also. So he didn't have any completions. That's definitely a scary stat to look at. And that's kind of when I wanted to bring up and look down at his ADP. So this is our last 5 weeks looking at his average draft position. So right now he's looking at the 350th player overall. So he's a risky keeper for Kevin, but when you're looking at his ADP, 350, that risk is already baked into where he is. So at that point, he's definitely worth a flyer. Thanks, Chet. Back to you.
Shut up. Thanks, Greg. That was a good segment. Don't tell your mom you came over, okay? Just tell her you're doing your stupid podcast. Well, that'll do it for all of us here at Chet time. We'll see you never. This was the dumbest idea I've ever had. Bye.